RUSAL lays off more workers. Auto accident kills soldier on ESSEQUIBO coast. High court hears case of arson and triple murder. In the region, Argentina issues food cards to low-income families. And internationally, French oil company Total accused of improperly compensating farmers. Greetings and welcome to this edition of Headline News Update. I am George Gonzalez. Thank you for joining us. Russian-owned bauxite company RUSAL has laid off even more workers in Guyana. More from Esther Sobers.
More workers from the Russian aluminum-owned bauxite company of Guyana Inc. has laid off more employees effective 30 January 2020. As a consequence, 146 workers will be unemployed. The workers affected range from heavy-duty equipment operators to supervisors. This is in addition to 142 employees laid off on January 23rd, bringing the total number to 288. This action by the company has caused the redundant workers to block the upper Berbice River until they are all reinstated or paid severance. The company said it is forced to take this action due to adverse operation circumstances, including shipment interruption due to the blockage of the Berbice River. With the blocking of the river, BCGI is unable to take bauxite to a floating transshipment station at the mouth of the Berbice River for loading to oceans-going vessels that take consignments to Russia and other international designations. A meeting is expected between the Ministry of Social Protection and Labor Department on Thursday to discuss the issues of the affected workers. For Channel 2 Headline News, Esther Sobers.
Thanks, Esther. This morning, 3 Bangladeshi nationals were jailed from entering Guyana illegally. 19-year-old Jakul Chowdhury, 27-year-old Siddiq Ahmed, and 20-year-old Sakhawat Khan admitted that on January the 20th, they entered Guyana by sea and disembarked without presenting themselves to an immigration officer at Springland's East Berbice quarantine. The men entered Guyana through Suriname and were proceeding to Brazil. However, they were intercepted by police ranks along the way. The 3 will be deported to Bangladesh after serving a 3-month sentence. The High Court is currently hearing the case of a jilted ex-lover who is allegedly responsible for the fiery demise of 3 persons in an apparent act of rage. Here again is Esther Sobers with that story.
This morning, the High Court heard the case of 51-year-old Gavin Graham of Seafield Sapphire. Graham is accused of murdering his ex-lover, 39-year-old Tabola Abrams, her boyfriend, Sean White, and her 68-year-old stepfather, Clifford Sampson, in the Liberation Act of Arson. According to reports, after Abrams ended her relationship with him, Graham set the 2-story building on fire to get revenge for being rejected. The building was at the time occupied by the victims and other persons. Sampson perished in the fire and Abrams died while receiving treatment at the Georgetown Public Hospital. Grahams was arrested moments after he committed the act. He pleaded not guilty to the crime. Nonetheless, the case is ongoing. For Channel 2 Headline News, Esther Sobers.
Thanks, Esther. Police are currently investigating a fatal accident which claimed the life of a soldier on the ESSEQUIBO coast. A member of the Guyana Defense Force is the most recent fatality on our nation's roads. The accident occurred Wednesday night at about 11:20 on the Kapui Public Road, ESSEQUIBO Coast. 20-year-old Private Mistnan Thomas of Lot 51 Middle Road, Buxton, East Coast, Demerara, was proceeding south along the road at a reportedly fast rate of speed. According to police, Thomas lost control of the motorcycle, causing it to end up in the path of a motor car which was driving in the opposite direction at a normal rate of speed. That vehicle was driven by a 23-year-old male of Sideline Dam, Queenstown, coast. Thomas received severe injuries to his head and body. He was picked up in an unconscious condition by a passerby and transported by a police vehicle to the Sooty Hospital, where he later died while receiving treatment. Thomas's body is presently lying at the city mortuary awaiting a post-mortem examination. A breathalyzer test was conducted on the driver of the car. He tested negative for alcohol. Nonetheless, investigations are ongoing. Don't go away. Coming up after the break, we have your regional and international news.
I remember the place. The shack was dirty. Cockroaches was everywhere. 10 we was in one room. When people in charge, they give me a piece of land. And we build a house on it. And it's safe. And it's very comfortable. And here I watch my children develop and grow. I need action, man. Strong leadership that give out land and have love. Build homes and create jobs. And bring down the cost of living that children can grow. PPP, deliver for my family. That's why I put in my X next to the cup.
The voting process. Once you have been identified as the elector you claim to be, you would be given a ballot paper that is stamped at the back, top and bottom halves in your presence. On the ballot paper, provision is made for you to vote twice. Once at the top section where you vote for the party of your choice in the general election, and once at the bottom section where you vote for the party of your choice in the regional election. Make your mark in the box provided on the right of your choice. After you have voted, fold the ballot paper as shown by the election official. Dip the first joint of your right index finger in the ink provided and place the ballot paper in the ballot box that is there for this purpose. You would then have to peacefully depart the polling station. For more information, contact GCOM on 225-027729, 223-9653, email pro@gcom.org.gy, or visit GCOM's website at www.gcom.org.gy.
Forward ever! Backwards never!
West side, the best side. The APNU AFC now moves into Region 3 on Friday, January 31st, 5 p.m. at the Leonora Track and Field Center with a president you can trust, a man of integrity to lead Guyana into the new era of economic prosperity. Come out and hear of Guyana's next decade of development. Addressed by His Excellency President David Granger, Mr. Joseph Harmon, Tandai McAllister, Ganesh Maipal, and others. On Friday, January 31st, 5 p.m. at the Leonora Track and Field. Guyana, we're moving forward together. Don't stop the progress.
This place is really hot. What's wrong with your AC?
It's not working.
Well, we wouldn't be able to continue this meeting anymore because this place is extremely hot.
Wait, please don't go.
Here's a company you can call to get your AC fixed. Action Cool.
Honey, what's dinner? I had a hard day.
I'm sorry you had a hard day, but guess what, babes? I didn't cook today because the stove is not working.
Having trouble at home or at the office? Then call the professionals at Action Cool. Our fully trained technical team have the skills and experience in repairs of all air-conditioned units, refrigerators, gas stoves, washing machines, and a whole lot more. For further information, visit us at 86 Hill and Princess Street, Mandela Avenue, Georgetown, or call us on telephone number 225-7867.
Zach here. How did we arrive at 18 million?
I don't know. I cannot tell you. I know. I wasn't part of any negotiations. I couldn't tell you how we arrived at 18 million.
So you don't know who negotiated?
I couldn't tell you who negotiated the thing. I don't know, to be quite honest. You know, in fact, I thought it was a gift Initially, I thought it was a gift coming to us. In fact, I thought it was a gift. Initially, I thought it was a gift coming to us.
The voting process. Once you have been identified as the elector you claim to be, you would be given a ballot paper that is stamped at the back, top and bottom halves in your presence. On the ballot paper, provision is made for you to vote twice. Once at the top section where you vote for the party of your choice in the general election, and once at the bottom section where you vote for the party of your choice in the regional election. Make your mark in the box provided on the right of your choice. After you have voted, fold the ballot paper as shown by the election official. Dip the first joint of your right index finger in the ink provided and place the ballot paper in the ballot box that is there for this purpose. You would then have to peacefully depart the polling station. For more information, contact GCOM on 225-027729, 223-9653, email pro@gcom.org.gy, or visit GCOM's website at www.gcom.org.gy.
Welcome back. Now we take a look at news from the region. Argentina's new government has begun issuing food cards to low-income families in an attempt to fight malnutrition. Al Jazeera's Teresa Bow reports.
Long lines of people waiting to get government help. This is happening in Lomas de Zamora, only half an hour away from the center of Buenos Aires. This is just one of the places in the country where the new government of Alberto Fernández has launched a program to fight malnutrition. Santiago Tassin has 4 children and has been without work for a year.
It's a compliment to help us. During these past 4 years, we have seen an increase in prices and it's difficult to make sure the kids eat well. We buy a lot of pasta and rice and they need meat, fish and protein.
In the past year, the devaluation of the peso currency has had a strong impact on the price of food. Many of those coming here are already receiving government help. This card gives them between $50 and $90 extra a month to buy only certain food items.
My husband has some temporary work, but I don't, and this helps a lot with some basic items.
The government hopes to distribute over 560,000 cards to help cope with rising malnutrition in the province. On site, children can get vaccinated. And there is a nutrition expert that teaches people how to eat smart.
We are telling people what they should buy once they get the card. We talk to them about what type of food their children need. We ask them to buy fruit, vegetables, meat and milk. We see children who are not big enough and others who are overweight. We are trying to educate them that they shouldn't buy sugary drinks that do not add to their diet.
The government also hopes that these food cards will help reactivate Argentina's economy that is already struggling with recession and inflation. And even though these food cards will certainly help lots of families here that are currently struggling with the economic crisis, most analysts say that the program won't help solve Argentina's endemic incapacity to generate jobs.
Laura Alonso says the program will inject almost $9 billion in the economy a year.
We're in an emergency trying to allow families to buy basic needs, but the objective, as the President said, is to change the economic structure in the country, to be able to generate jobs. That is what the country needs. By activating the economy, we will generate consumption and hopefully economic prosperity.
Argentina produces grain and protein for millions of people around the world, but it has failed to fight malnourishment at home. Only years of sustained economic growth will guarantee better living conditions for those who depend on the government to survive. Teresa Bo, Al Jazeera, Buenos Aires.
And internationally, a French court is due to decide whether oil giant Total is addressing the human and environmental impact of an oil field in Uganda. The case was brought by several human rights groups who accused the firm of failing to properly compensate farmers removed from their land. Al Jazeera's Catherine Soy reports.
Beneath this expansive land in western Uganda, there's an estimated 6 billion barrels worth of oil. The China National Offshore Oil Corporation and the French multinational Total have major operations here, including the Tilenga mega project, which is expected to produce 190,000 barrels a day. But there is a problem. Thousands of people who have been moved from their villages to make way for the development say they were forced to accept compensation of just $1,000 an acre, and that's not enough. Most of the people who took a cash compensation could not even afford to buy land elsewhere. So now they stay in rental houses in village centers like this one and rely on casual jobs to make a living. Fred Mesigwa refused the deal and says his land was worth more to him than the $3,000 he was offered.
I was cultivating my land, I pay my school fees to my children, and I used it to go to good hospitals. But after they came, their life became harder. They stopped me using my land.
Dickens Kamugesha runs a non-profit organization that has helped Mesigwa and other farmers take the matter to court in France. He says the oil project will affect about 50,000 people in the western and central regions of the country. This is the first case under a new French law, which requires large corporations to make sure proper care and attention is paid to the local population and environment.
If these people were not frustrated, they were not suffering, were not actually, it was between life and death, they would not have accepted, most of them would not have accepted compensation.
The Tilenga project lies partly in the Murchison Falls National Park. Some rights groups say plans to protect the environment are not clear, but government officials insist everything has been done lawfully.
We realize the environment is important. Tourism is one of the key earners for our economy, and so we must explore this oil, must exploit this oil and gas resources, while being cognizant of the fact that we need to coexist with the environment.
Back at the Mesigwa homestead, they tell us the oil project has made the family much poorer, and signing a bad compensation deal would only make things worse. Catherine Soy, Al Jazeera, Bulisa, Western Uganda.
Here is the 3-day weather forecast. That's all for this edition of Headline News Update. Tune in Friday at 6 p.m. for another episode. Be sure to subscribe, like, and follow us on Facebook and YouTube. And visit our website at headlinenewsguyana.com for more news. Until then, take care.